Sweet. Just tell me when.
So, this is Aaron, Creative Company,
Hi.
and
Matt Aaron.
he's going to tell us the history.
So, I have brought to Blade Show West today what I have on pretty good authority is the world's first folded jacket forged automatic. So, what I've got are these folding knives that are built into a forged taco steel jacket.
That is cool.
So these started as kind of a brainchild. I took a class from Nick Rossi on his friction folders. So he has these really, has a really particular style where he forges these over and the texture goes all the way around, kind of reminiscent of some of the Japanese friction folders.
Like the Higo no Kami?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That mixed with I think it was mixed with like a Scandinavian find of some kind. They had like some Viking folding
That
knives
peasant
out.
one?
Yeah, they're forged and made very similarly to this. So I took that class, and then my rampant ADHD took over, and it's like, how can I make a locking folder in this package with as few extra parts as possible?
Okay.
And then I'm like, why not make it even more difficult on myself, make it an automatic at the same time? So I got to work, and over the past 2.5 years, I've gone through a number of iterations. So this was the first successful one.
Ooh.
This is iteration 1 and 2. So first iteration had the jacket, the lock spring, and the launch spring forged and folded out of one piece.
Oh.
So this was a button construction. The button lock kind of goes all the way through. The spring behind that button is cut out of the back side of that other jacket. And then the launch spring, the original one, you'll note, was forged and cut off the back of this and folded back in to launch the blade.
That's cool.
Now this took me forever. I'm censoring myself a little bit here because there was a lot of swearing involved, but
it's worth it though.
it took me forever to get this to work. And the learning curve on running this was very steep. Because if I hold it wrong, it doesn't fire right. If I pinch it on the button, you're effectively just pinching a solid post, so you have to hold it just right to run it. And it works, it's good, but the package isn't exactly clean. And then when you break, if and or when you break that spring, you're shit out of luck. You gotta build a whole new knife, right?
Okay,
Which is a
yes.
giant pain in the butt. So I can't sell that, but I did it. The original knife with its folded construction parts had a total of 5 or 6 parts, depending on how you count them.
Wow, okay.
And it was a functional automatic, a functional button lock automatic. So when I broke the spring, I put a new one in there.
Okay.
Now that's serviceable. So then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to start kind of filming it, and I'm going to start trying to build it for production, which means a couple more parts. So I started adding parts. So separate spring installed. I went to a button lock, and then an added piece on the back to give me a little bit more depth to like allow for that whole plunger mechanism.
Yeah.
And that works pretty well.
It had a cool sound to it.
It has a good sound to it. So I started carrying this one around, and that works okay. But I found that in order to make this good for carry, this button is pretty proud, and to be able to like put it in a pocket, not have it like bump and open in your pocket,
That'd be
I
bad.
have to start adding more parts and complexity to add a safety to it to have that button lock. So this was kind of out as far as the production model goes.
Okay.
So then I started studying some of the German lever lock autos. So they've got that spring on the outside and a lever you fold over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's great, but I still have to start adding parts to get all those to happen. So I'm trying to keep as few parts as I can. And so why don't I try to do that same kind of thing off of the side? So I have, this is basically just a standard lockback knife with the place that you interact with that lock is this forged and folded little fiddleback, that fiddleback twirl.
I like it.
And so I folded that over, and this works good. I carried this in my pocket for about a year after I built this, and it works good. It's got a good shape, it's got a good lock, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Got a nice little pocket clip on there that people seem to love. Those little squiggly pocket clips are great.
I like that you do that with clips. A lot of people kind of skimp on clips.
I'll be honest, they're the most tedious part of the whole knife for me now. I really don't enjoy making the clips as much as I should, but people really like them, so I keep putting clips on them. The issue with this is if I pass it off to somebody, it's got a little bit of a longer learning curve than I would normally like to have on a knife that I sell somebody. Like, I just want to be able to pass this thing to you, and you can run it, right?
Okay.
This takes a little bit of learning. It's totally doable, but I wanted to be able to build something that somebody can just pick up and run. So this is then the first actual like production prototype where I started adding that little brass nodule to it. And this is still not, this isn't the final iteration because that brass piece doesn't move, but it's a little bit more comfortable of a piece to push on, and it sets your thumb in the right spot to push on it, which is fine and great. But once you start getting into bigger knives with stronger springs, that becomes hard to operate again. You have to pinch it in just the right way and push on it. And so that, again, I carried this again for about another 6 months to make sure it's not like bumping open in my pocket.
Yep.
Which brings us to what I have on my table today.
The final version?
Yeah, so, well, it's never a final version. You're always iterating, right?
That's true.
But that little brass piece on that first knife ended up working loose one day, and it started pivoting on me. And I'm like, there's a lever I can use. So now I can have a strong spring in here, and this lever gives me a little bit of a mechanical advantage to lift that lock again. And this is where we're at now. So you take that same brass nodule and you just rotate it, and it pops the knife open.
I like that.
Yeah, so the construction on these, the mechanisms aren't anything really new, but the combination of them and then how I put them together in this forged, like hand-done package without any precision tooling, that's the secret sauce.
You won't see this anywhere else.
This is literally
This is it.
world first.
This
Nobody
is
else is
cool.
building them like this.
Yeah.
I had
like
a couple
this.
in stainless and titanium jackets that the heat treats ran long on, so I didn't quite get them done in time for the show. But keep an eye out for those. Those are going to be good. I'm very excited about the titanium ones. But yeah,
I like it. I like what you got going. She was right. She has an eye for cool things.
it's almost like you're married.
I know.
It's almost like she knows you.
She keeps me in line.
There you go.
So, do you mind talking about some price points?
Yeah,
Or is that still...
so no, it's not totally set in stone yet, but this particular batch, they're all the plain carbon steel ones with a simple tail on the back. Those start at about $450, and then they go up from there.
$450 for handmade?
Yeah, and then if you go to like a Damascus, there's a premium on those as well. I'm starting those at about $657, and then the Damascus, or then the titanium and stainless, those are going to be probably around somewhere similar to that.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, there's production knives out there for more than that.
Yeah.
Go buy yourself a cool handmade by this guy.
Got my business card right there. I'm sure he'll put details for my Instagram and all that.
Can I take one of these?
Yeah, take one of those, take a bunch of my stickers. I'm out of Arizona, my stickers of Mermaid.
We're in Arizona too.
Oh,
Which part?
I'm out of Tempe.
Oh, we're in Peoria.
Oh, cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, fellow Arizona guy, go support him. But yeah, check him out. If people are not here, could they buy online?
Yeah,
Okay.
the automatics, you'll have to send me a message to get on those because I'm currently going through a dispute with my payment processor over automatic knives. But
That's okay.
yeah, you can send me an email, you can shoot me a message on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of those things. I'm on all of those.
And you were on Fortune Fire.
I was on Fortune Fire, Season 9, Episode 8.
We're going to watch that.
My time was short, but I had a great time.
Oh, that's cool.
That's actually right there. That's my second reattempt after I got home for a gaucho. I have the third, but I couldn't bring myself to bring that one to sell. I really like that.
That's cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah, man.